Alrighty guys, hopping into another Dragon Ball Legends PvE video guide. So for this one, we're actually go ahead and be doing a video on the raid boss strike. So this one just came out today. It's against Super Gogeta, right? He is element yellow. And I'm going to kind of go ahead and just, the way I'm going to lay out these videos, these guides like this, is I'm going to go ahead and title it my top 5 characters for so-and-so, for X event, right? So these are going to be my top 5 characters against Super Gogeta. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at it real quick. So the advantageous element is the red units, right? We have their battle bonuses, character tags right here. We have the powerful opponent, the Otherworld Warrior, sagas from the movies, Fusion Warrior, and Transforming Warrior. So if you guys saw my last video on this, what I kind of like to do, what I kind of like to base it off of is I like to at least get 2 of these tags on whatever unit I'm bringing. And that's what I advise to you guys as well. You guys might not have the optimal characters, the ideal characters for this event. But if you can find a character that you own with at least 2 of these tags right here, then you should be fine. Let's go ahead and click on details right here, and you can see that powerful opponent gives you the biggest buff, right? So there's Fusion Warrior 25%, 25, 20, 15, 15. So yeah, like I said, powerful opponent is the strongest buff that you can get for the battle bonus, right? And if you actually go into the news section, because I know even I'm guilty of doing this, sometimes I don't check the news. You go into the news section, you go up to the raid rush, you click on details here, and it actually recommends some characters, and they're pretty good recommendations as well. So you go all the way down here. So versus Super Gogeta, there's Janemba, there's Omega, Pycon, and then this guy right here, Super 13, right? So let's go ahead and take a look right here. So the first ones we'll kind of be looking is the Fusion Warrior, the Otherworld Warrior, and sagas from the movie. So let's go ahead and go right here, go to our character list, and then let's go ahead and filter this out, and then put up our, or we'll do Otherworld Warrior first, right? So the first one that we're going to go ahead and be looking at is, of course, this guy right here. So in my opinion, I think this is the most accessible guy that you guys have. Like, he's really, really old, right? It's a lot more likely that you're going to have this guy than any of the newer characters, just because of how old he is. Because look at how much stars I have at him. I have him at Red Star 4, right? That's just how old he is. I've been able to pull that many copies of him, and he's not bad for the event at all. So let's go ahead and look at his tags, see what he got here. He does have the Otherworld Warrior, he has the Fusion Warrior, and he has sagas from the movies. He has 3 out of the 6, I believe. I think it is 6. So he has 3 out of the 6, which is not bad, right? I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I think 3 is the maximum amount of tags that you can have out of the characters that I have, at least, I think. So yeah, so he has 3 out of the tags. Out of the 6 tags, he's not bad at all, right? He does have he stacks damage upon landing a strike arts or a blast arts. He has his ultimate. He doesn't really get the last man buffs because it's co-op, right? He's not bad. We're gonna go ahead and we'll probably show him, and then the other character that I want to use is Janemba.
So that was a fucking lie.
But so anyway, so going back to this, so Gogeta, right? So I think he's good. He's gonna be up there in my top 5, and then this guy, I think he still is going to go ahead and be in my top 5. Even though I didn't pull him, I don't have him. I'm seeing a lot of people are using him as well. A lot of people do think that this guy is pretty good for it as well. Because look at, he also has a tag. So he has Otherworld Warrior, and he has the powerful opponent. And like I said before, powerful opponent, that one actually has the strongest buff. It gives you the 50% buff rather than the 25% or the 15%. Right? So he has the 50% damage buff. And he's relatively new, so he has like a lot of stuff that's involved in his kit, right? So he has a lot of stuff that he can do. So yeah, if you have this guy, go ahead and bring him in too. You won't get disbanded. You'll do good damage against the boss. With the Gogeta, like, you won't have difficulties with the boss either. So with the Gogeta, don't get me wrong, like, you won't have any difficulties against the boss. It's just going to take you a little bit longer. It's not necessarily, you're not going to be putting out massive amounts of damage. Okay, so that's those two. So very underwhelming, right? In terms of, what's it called? The amount of characters that we have for Otherworld Warriors. But if you go to, because Fusion is in there, he's in there for the battle boost tag, so you can go into Fusion Warrior, and we actually have a couple of reds here. So another one that I do not have is the Super Saiyan Gotenks that transforms into Super Saiyan 3, right? Alright, so what he has going for him is he does have the Fusion Warrior. Unfortunately, he does not have the Transforming Warrior, even though technically he does transform into Super Saiyan 3. So he's only using 1 tag, but I have seen people bring him into the co-op event as well, and he absolutely shreds. So even though this guy only has one a bonus tag, and I advise 2 or more, right? He still is a very good option, and so he's kind of like another little honorable mention that I have going on here. Okay, so we'll be right back. We'll go ahead and look at the other tags real quick. Okay, so the other tags. So we looked over Otherworld Warrior, we looked over Fusion Warrior, and both of those, or one of them was at least from Sagas from the movies, right? So those 3 of them right there. The other ones are Powerful Opponent, and then Transforming Warrior. So there's 6 of them. So we're actually going to go ahead and look at the Powerful Warrior tag now. So we're going to go ahead and filter this out right here. And go all the way down to Powerful Opponent. And so you have a lot more options here, right? There's a lot of powerful opponents, a lot of red powerful opponents, but there's only a few that we're going to actually go ahead and be looking at. This guy was definitely an honorable mention because I was considering bringing this guy. I actually did bring him in for a couple test runs before filming this. And he's not bad, but he has like, his transformation is limited, right? Let me see. How long does he transform till? So he transforms to Golden Frieza for only 45 timer counts. So kind of like after that, you got to be careful. You kind of have to just put out damage, but he does do good damage, right? I do want to point out that he does do good damage. He has 2 of the tags. He has Powerful Opponent and he has the Transforming Warrior. So, like I said, he's also an option. He's a pretty good option as well. The guy that I'm most interested in, the guy that I'm pretty much running through and through, is this guy right here, is the Super Janemba. So this guy, I only have him at 2 stars. And one of the challenges is like finish within 45 timer counts. And I was not able to complete that challenge without any other character besides this Super Janemba. So we're going to go ahead and look at his tags right here. So he does have the Transforming Warrior. He does have Powerful Opponent. And he does have Sagas from the movies. So he has 3 out of the 6 tags, which is really good, right? So he's really good for this. His kit is still pretty good, right? He's not too heavily outdated. And he also has a 30% damage inflicted against episode Sagas from the movies. And as you know, that Gogeta is from Sagas of the movies. So he's going to do really good. He's going to do good damage as well. So if you have him, definitely run him. That's my advice. Let's see. So we keep going, scrolling down. We also have this Omega who is actually in the recommended tab in the news sections if you guys didn't see. And so he has, let's see what tags. He has the Fusion Warrior and he has Powerful Opponent. And so he has 2 out of the 6. Again, I used him. Not too bad, right? He does get the buff with the Dragon Balls. He also has these buffs right here, which you can either do Strong Poison, Heavy Bleed, or Paralyze. So again, not a bad option. It took a little bit longer. I think the longest it took me was with the Gogeta, and then it was this guy right here. It took me a little bit longer to do it with the Omega Shenron, because I want to get the Rising Rush out there, and once you use that Rising Rush, then you don't get the buff from the Dragon Balls, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on how those buffs work. And then you keep scrolling down, and this is basically the characters who I do not have, but the character that I'm seeing that people are running over Janemba, who people are saying is better than Janemba, who a lot of people are saying that this guy is the guy to use, is this Fusion Android 13. And for some reason, I truly thought I had him, but I guess not. But we'll go ahead and look at him. So he is from Sagas from the movies. He is a Fusion Warrior, and he is also a powerful opponent. So again, getting 3 out of the 6, you're getting a lot of good fighters out of the Powerful Opponent tag, right? Because even that Pycon, the Pycon that I mentioned, he does have the Powerful Opponent, right? Even though he's a good guy. But yeah, so, and then we can go ahead and look at his main ability. This is another reason why he's pretty strong. So he gets 30% damage inflicted against Super Saiyan. Again, Gogeta is a Super Saiyan, right? So he's getting like a bunch of buffs against this guy. So if you have this guy, it's also another really good choice. He's kind of old, so, you know, I do suspect that there will be some of you guys that will have this guy over the newer characters too, right? And so we're going to go ahead and do our top 5 right here. Alrighty, guys. So before we get into the match, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my top 5 right here. So our top 5 from left to right, these actually are going to go ahead and be in order. But for the first 2 that I have right here, so Pycon and Super 13, I do have them at the bottom. Not because I think they're better or worse than the others. It's just because, like I said, I don't have these units. But from the kits alone and just looking at them, like on paper, they look like they're going to do good. Right, so go ahead and tell me who you're using out of these guys. So those are going to be kind of like my honorable mentions. This is more like the top 3 a little bit here. So then after Super 13, we do have the Gogeta. He's technically my bottom one because of the fact that I feel like more of you guys are going to have Gogeta than any of the units on this list. He's more of like the free-to-play casual player option, right? And like I said, he's still viable in this. You can still bring him along and you'll have you'll still be fine. You'll be perfectly fine. And then I have Omega right here. He does have all his little debuffs. He does have his little Dragon Ball buffs. He has a really good green card, a really good ultimate. So he's gonna go ahead and be. That's why I put him right here. He does fizzle out a little bit, but it's it's not a big deal. It's all right. It's still gonna be a cakewalk with Omega. And then my number 1 pick is going to be that Janemba, just because of all the damage buffs that he has. And if you go ahead and, like I said, I was only able to complete the 45 timer count challenge with the Janemba out of the 3 characters, or out of all the characters that I use. Because I used a couple other characters other than the people on this list right here. So yeah, so that's going to go ahead and be it. Let's go ahead and get right into the matches right here. Actually, real quick, before we get into the matches, I also wanted to say, for the challenges and stuff, we'll go ahead and take a look at the challenges right now. But for my support members, I actually went ahead and handpicked out my support members. In my last video, I did say that if you guys are a little lazy, you can go ahead and do the auto select option, so you can auto select your support members off the ability bonus, and it'll go ahead and craft a team for you. That way you don't feel too overwhelmed by it. But these guys right here that I have in my support members, they're all handpicked by me just specifically so I can get as much damage as I could out. So we're gonna go ahead and now let's go ahead and look at the challenges. So land a dual impact. These 4 I'm gonna kind of ignore. These 4 come standard with every co-op match, right? It's always the dual impact and the timer count challenges. The ones right here, these are the ones that you kind of want to look out for. As the powerful opponent characters, we went over those. Battle with 1 fusion character, went over those, and battle with Otherworld Warrior characters. So I don't think there's a single character that fulfills all 3 of this criteria. You're gonna have to do 2 runs of this at least to get all 3 of those done. So what I did for a powerful opponent, I did Janemba. And for Fusion Warrior / Otherworld Warrior, I used that Gogeta because that's where he fits into. So let's go ahead and stop wasting time. We'll go ahead and get into the match. We're gonna go ahead and show off Janemba in the co-op match. Okay, so we're actually gonna go ahead and get paired up with the Gotenks with Kakarotos, alright? So I mentioned him. So let's go ahead and see how we can do. I'll go ahead and mention my kind of like process for co-op and everything too. Right, so kind of just want these Dragon Balls a little bit here. I do want to build that link bonus in the middle of the screen off to the right. So I kind of do just like to let my buddy get hit. He uses Vanish right there. So he's going to get hit right here. And then I can go ahead and jump in for him. So we do have the link at 48%. Once we get 50%, you're going to notice at the bottom of my screen that I am going to get a card draw speed. Alright, so key recover up and card draw speed up. Pretty good, right? Let me go ahead and do this. Unfortunately, I do not have a blue card here. That's okay. Hopefully I get one though. I wish his green card like recovered key or something. Okay, so there's the blue card right there actually. And we'll go ahead and see how much this does. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Then I'm going to go in for a blue card here. And then also too, you have to acknowledge that his blue card does give you like a strong bleed. Look at the damage that just did. Like that was pretty huge, right? Fortunately, I was not able to get my Rising Rush in time alongside my buddy, though. But this is still going to hurt a lot. Like, look at that. I'm doing, like, a full health bar just off a strike. See? Like, that's pretty good. If this was a Super Rising Rush, if I would have had my Rising Rush, even if it wasn't Super Rising Rush, he would have been dead already. 10 million off a single Rising Rush. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and save my buddy again. That way we are able to build up that link bonus, right? Let's see. We actually didn't even get it. We'll go ahead and just end it off with the Rising Rush and see how much damage we can do here. We'll go with the green card because I want to get that strike for myself. So, and like pretty good damage coming out from the Gotenks here as well. We got a perfect. The first one was 10 million, so let's see how much this will do with the perfect, right? 13. So again, really, really good damage. Like I said. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish it off with this statement right here. Janemba is my recommended pick. If you have Janemba, that's pretty much all I'm gonna be running for this portion of the event is just Janemba. So go ahead and use him if you have him. If you don't, go ahead and take a look at the other top 5 that I mentioned in this video. That's gonna go ahead and wrap things up. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.